This is my review of Samurai Flamenco. Okay, so it's the final episode, and this one is a bit fun. So it starts off with a flashback told from Goto's point of view, and it explains why he started texting his girlfriends on the same phone. So it's explained that the day she disappeared, she left him a message saying, see you tomorrow, Go-chin, which is what Haiji goads him with at the end of last episode and at the beginning of this one. But it's revealed that when she disappeared, he started texting her phone. But then the dad came along and told him to stop, saying that it was bothering him because every time the phone went off, it reminded them that she was gone. So they just gave him the phone, and he started texting back and forth between the two phones. But his mom was worried for his sanity, so she chucked her phone in a fire and tried to burn it in order to get him to let it go. But instead, he just reaches in and tries to fish it out. And the phone has long since been destroyed because it's been in a fire. But he also suffered a little bit from that because now his hand got burned. But he did attempt to try and fix it. He attempted to try and figure out a way to solve the situation where he was texting between two phones, and then he realized he could just text himself on one phone by emailing himself, and that's largely how he came to start texting each other. How they came to start texting each other. So, yeah, all of that is just a premise for what the episode sets up, which is that Haiji knows this. He knows that she's been gone for a while and is planning to, and still continues to goad him with it, and decides that he needs Samurai Flamenco to become a dark hero, and in order to do that, Goto needs to kill him. So he decides to start erasing all of Goto's emails between him and his girlfriend, including the one she had actually left him, which is what officially sets him off. And Haiji, satisfied, waits for Samurai Flamenco to arrive. Meanwhile, Masayoshi is going to the apartment, and while he's on his way there, he's actually talking to Kono on the phone, and Kono reveals that his parents actually did agree to go along with faking Haiji's death, but it should be noted that they weren't entirely comfortable with it and immediately turned themselves in upon Kono finding out. So yeah, it's revealed that Haiji arranged the whole thing where his death got faked so that he could run around and basically do whatever he wanted to target Samurai Flamenco and his peers. So Masayoshi shows up to the apartment, unaware that somebody is tailing him. Going to get into that in a minute, and shows up at the apartment to confront Haiji. And Haiji points out that his entire plan for Samurai Flamenco, pointing out that he wants Samurai Flamenco to become a dark character, and in order to do that, Haiji needs to die, because it's actually revealed that Haiji is responsible for Masayoshi's success as a hero, because he was the one who initially posted the original videos of Samurai Flamenco being a superhero, and he's kind of indirectly responsible for Masayoshi's success as a superhero. But it should also be noted that he also wants to become the thing that turns Samurai Flamenco into a dark hero, and in order to do that, he needs to die. So he pulls out Masayoshi's original suit, which survived the fire because Haiji let it, and tosses it at Masayoshi's feet, asking him to become Samurai Flamenco. But rather than actually do it, Masayoshi actually strips down to nothing, while explaining that he thought of several different ways to fight Haiji, before finally realizing that he needs to fight Haiji as himself, and refuses to put the costume on, and instead just attacks Haiji buck naked, which is kind of weird, but then again, hey, it's supposed to be. But Haiji notably is panicked and tries to fend off Samurai Flamenco, or Masayoshi in this case, and And Masayoshi refuses to back down, saying that he's the only one who cares about him, and this is what causes Haiji to snap out of his rampage, quote-unquote, and Haiji finally relents. But during the struggle, the keys for Goto's handcuffs, which have been keeping him safely secured to a pole, fall out of Haiji's pocket. So yeah, Goto gets free, and he's not exactly happy with Haiji, has been established, but he does threaten to kill Haiji. But then Masayoshi points out that he can't let him kill Haiji, and even asks that they get married, which is actually how Masayoshi discovers love, when he realizes that love is wanting to be able to protect someone no matter what. Although I'm not entirely sure if they ever got married, because it never specifies that. But it also should be noted that Goto kind of is hesitant about taking love advice from a guy who only just discovered it, and in the process reveals that he and his girlfriend had indeed slept together before she disappeared. So Goto isn't a virgin, and it also should be noted that he kind of isn't really in the soundest mental state, as we established, because he still misses his girlfriend and thinks that she may someday come back, but she probably never will. But Masayoshi points out that he's just sullying her memory because he's trying so hard to keep her alive, when in fact she's long gone, and he's just making her upset. And also in the scene proceeds to call him an idiot several times, which is kind of where the whole tsundere thing came to be, because all you ever hear them scream is idiot, and then we have Masayoshi here back in 2013 screaming it repeatedly at the top of his lungs over and over. And that's how people kind of picked up that the word baka means moron. So there we go. But yeah, it's this that enables Goto to stop and think for a minute, because it should be noted that he can't really stay mad at Masayoshi, and Masayoshi being himself just kind of helps him realize that he's being a little bit stupid, and finally snaps out of it. But then the person who was stalking Masayoshi, revealed to be Marimaya, actually shows up and beats Haiji within an inch of his life, mainly to get revenge for herself, but also to get revenge for Samurai Flamenco for trying to come in between Masayoshi and Goto. And she does indeed succeed in incapacitating him, and it works. Meanwhile, Goto reveals that he's sending his girlfriend on a journey. But he also points out that she's officially never coming back. Although it is revealed later that that's not entirely the case, but I'll get into that when I get to it. But yeah, fast forward. But then the episode ends several months in the future, where Joji Konami is now in charge of the Samurai Flamenco. What is it called? A museum? He's in charge of a museum now. And so are several of the people who worked on the Samurai Flamenco project, including, and also during this sequence, Ishihara actually thanks Kono for all he's done, but Kono kind of dismisses her, pointing out that he prefers her to be mean, and he thinks that when she isn't mean, it's kind of weird. So he's kind of a little bit uncomfortable by that. But it also should be noted that Masayoshi has indeed been visiting Haiji every day since, in an effort to try and get him to behave himself and do better. Pointing out that he will face him again if he gets out, but only if he only goes after Samurai Flamenco and nobody else. So yeah, Haiji could, in theory, come back. They're probably not going to make a season 2, but it should be noted that they did make a manga after this fairly recently. So they might make a season 2? It's iffy. It's iffy. I don't know. The manga's no longer in run anymore, and it was never really adapted from a manga to begin with. So I don't know. Maybe they'll make a season 2 based on the manga. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on if somebody picks up depends on if Square Enix gives somebody the rights to it. But yeah, there is a manga. It's called Samurai Flamenco in Other Days. You can read it on the Square Enix website if you can find it. But yeah, there is a manga, and it is interesting. But back to what I was talking about, which is that now it's set it is set several months in the future. If they do bring Haiji back as an antagonist for season 2, if they make one, it's been several years, so probably not. But if they ever do make a season 2, he'll probably come back as an antagonist at some point. But who knows? I didn't fully read the mangas. I might have to after watching this again. But yeah, after leaving the prison, it's revealed that Goto still pretends his girlfriend is real, even though she's not. Just to mess with Masayoshi, as it's revealed. And also Masayoshi hasn't quite given up on being a superhero self, because the episode ends with him taking off his clothes to reveal that he's secretly wearing the original Samurai Flamenco suit under his clothes. But yeah, the episode ends on a high note with Masayoshi continuing to be a superhero, because crime, as they reveal, is starting to creep back up again, and also that Goto is going back to work because he was suspended after what happened, which makes sense. He would need time to recover from what happened, just to make sure he's in the soundest mental state when he comes back. But yeah, this episode ends on a high note with Masayoshi going back to being a superhero and everybody else kind of getting a happy ending. It's kind of one of the best endings I could ask for an anime. It's just the thing is that's just entirely for thematic. Everything goes back to the way it was at the beginning. So yeah, I'm interested. I don't think they could prolong this for another season, but it does do a good job of telling the story it wants to tell. And also, yeah, everybody's gone back to doing what they love. Maya and Triple M have still continue to be secret vigilante / pop star idols. So yeah, it's still great. And also Konami is in charge of the Samurai Flamenco Institute and Museum, which is also great. And the scientist guy, I forget, John is now working there as well. Everybody else has gone into their respective fields. It's great. It's a great ending, but it also feels bittersweet because yeah, the series did end, but it does feel like these characters are just kind of going off living their lives now, and that's really all I could ask for. It's not like it's a happily ever after. There is still stuff to do. People are still going out doing what they do best. So yeah, that's how the series decides to go out, and I'm very much okay with it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, if you want to help support the show, then be sure to check out my Patreon. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it really helps me out, so I would definitely appreciate if you did that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!